$1,100. That's what a chased loss cost me on a single Tuesday night in a card room I won't name. And the reason I can tell you the exact figure is because I wrote it in the margin of a notebook the next morning and underlined it twice. Not so I'd never forget the money, so I'd never forget the shape of the mistake. The money comes back. The shape of the mistake, if you don't study it, comes back too, with interest. I'm going to walk you through the math of chasing losses the way I actually think about it now, 13 years after that Tuesday. Not the therapy version, the arithmetic version. Chasing is a math problem before it's an emotional problem, and once you see the numbers, the emotion gets a lot easier to manage. Start with the basic setup. Say you sit down at a 00 roulette wheel. The house edge is 5.26%. That's fixed. That's the tax. On every $100 you push across the felt, the wheel keeps $5.26 in the long run. That's not opinion, that's geometry. 38 pockets, a payout structure priced for 36. Now here's what nobody tells you about chasing. When you're down 400 and you decide to double your unit to claw it back faster, you did not improve your odds. Not by a hair. You improved the speed at which the edge eats you. Same tax rate, bigger tax base. If you were bleeding 5.26% of a $25 bet, you're now bleeding 5.26% of a $50 bet. The wheel doesn't know you're upset. The wheel doesn't care that you're behind. And here's the part that got me on that Tuesday. The wheel doesn't owe you anything back. Let me put real numbers on it. I sat down with $400. $25 unit on the outside, red-black, even money stuff. Comfortable. Boring on purpose. About 90 spins an hour on a full table, which means my expected loss for 1 hour of quiet play is around $118, roughly. That's the price of the ticket. I knew that number going in. What I didn't know is what my brain would do after losing 6 units in the first 12 minutes. Here's what actually happens in the skull. You're not sad. You're not scared. You're offended. There's a specific flavor of offense that comes from being down when you were supposed to be up, and the brain, which is a lazy problem solver, offers you the cleanest fix on the menu. Bet more, win it back, get whole, go home. Get whole. Those 2 words have probably cost more money on casino floors than every drink comp ever poured. So I pressed. 25 became 50. 50 became 100. Down 600, I made the move I still think about. I put 200 on black to, in my own words at the time, settle it. It hit red. Not because the wheel was against me. The wheel doesn't have opinions, it just spins. And when it landed, I did the thing every chaser does. I put another 200 out. Now I was down 1,100, and 1,100 felt like it needed one more swing to fix. Watch what happened to my expected loss rate. I walked in expecting to pay about $118 an hour for entertainment. By the time I was pressing, my average bet had roughly quadrupled. Same edge, 4 times the burn. I turned a $118 hour into a $470 hour without changing seats. That's the whole trick of chasing. It's not that you lose more hands. It's that every hand you play now costs you 4 times as much to lose. The house edge is a percentage. Percentages love bigger numbers. You are voluntarily feeding it bigger numbers. Here's where the sunk cost thing lives. Every dollar already lost is gone. It is not sitting in a jar behind the dealer waiting for the right bet to liberate it. It is in the drop box. It is counted. It is on its way to the count room. And no sequence of future bets has any relationship to it whatsoever. Your next spin has the same expected value it had on the first spin. Negative 5.26% of whatever you put down. The wheel has amnesia. You should try to have some too. Now, plenty of you ask me where I actually play these days, since I'm on about pit stuff constantly. My personal rule is only licensed rooms I've cashed out of myself, because I've had payouts stall in shady spots, and it's the worst feeling in gambling. Where I play, I left in the description. Back to the notebook. The thing that finally broke the chasing habit for me wasn't willpower. Willpower at 3 in the morning, down $1,000, running on gas station coffee, that's not a real resource. What worked was a rule I stole from a craps player I used to see at the rail. He called it the flat number. Before he sat down, he wrote one figure on a bar napkin. The amount he was willing to lose that night, full stop. Not a stop loss he could renegotiate. A flat number. When the chips matched the napkin, he colored up and left. Didn't matter if he was on a heater. Didn't matter if he was due. Napkin equals door. I copied it. My flat number depends on the game. On a $200 buy-in blackjack session with a $10 minimum, playing about 70 hands an hour at roughly a 0.5% edge if I'm not making mistakes, my expected loss is around $3.50 an hour. Tiny. But my flat number is the full 200. I write it down. When it's gone, I'm gone. On a slot night, and I don't do many, with a dollar machine at 94% RTP, hitting maybe 600 spins an hour at max bet, that's an expected burn of around 108 per hour. My flat number there is 1 hour. Not 2, not one more bonus round. 1 hour. Because the moment I extend, I've turned a $108 entertainment cost into a chase. And I already know what a chase costs me. 1,100, underlined twice. I guarantee nothing. Your results will differ from mine because each spin, each hand, each roll is independent, and no personal routine on earth changes the math of the wheel. What a routine changes is how long you sit inside that math. That's it. That's the entire lever you actually have. The other thing I do, and this is smaller but it matters, I never rebuy at the table. If I go through my flat number, I don't reach for the wallet, I don't sign a marker, I don't walk to the cage. The physical act of leaving the chair is the circuit breaker. I've watched high rollers lose houses because they never learned to stand up. A pit boss once told me the average marker in his room got signed 40 minutes after the player said, out loud, "I'm done for tonight." 40 minutes between the promise and the pen. That's the chasing window. That's when it happens. So the question I'd throw back at you, is chasing a discipline problem, or is it a math literacy problem? Most people who chase actually understand willpower fine. What they've never had is somebody sit down and show them, in dollars per hour, exactly what pressing a bet does to their burn rate. Tell me in the comments. I'll read them. And if you already have a flat number that works for you, write it in there too. Somebody scrolling at 2 in the morning down 600 might need to see it.